Hello, you amazing people. Welcome back to RX Memes. Today we are going to be diving into r/EscalatingRevenge. This is a new subreddit for my channel, so I hope that you like it. Let me know in the comments what subreddit you want me to cover next, and let's get into today's stories. Steal my hue lights? Enjoy your new earlier wake up time. Preface. This story wrapped up last night. Background. I was dating a guy, boyfriend, long distance last summer, and things were going pretty well. I was in DC and boyfriend was in Chicago. I was about to move to Spain temporarily for a really cool opportunity, and boyfriend and I discussed that after I returned to the US, I would move to Chicago and we'd go from being long distance to a normal couple. My lease was going to end right as I was going to move to Spain. Instead of finding a way to store all my things for a year and then subsequently move them to Chicago, I figured that this was a perfect time to downsize. I got rid of a lot of clothing, sold my furniture, and just decided to keep some essentials, sentimental items, and portable expensive electronics. I only brought the essentials to Spain, whatever would fit in my luggage, and boyfriend offered to store my sentimental items and electronics. I didn't mind him borrowing the electronics while I was gone, game console and games, JBL speaker, and my hue lights. And he installed the hue lights in his condo. I visited him for a week and a half right before moving to Spain, and we had a little bit of tension, and the visit was a little bit rocky. I thought we were going to be able to work through things and recover, but right as I moved to Spain, boyfriend ghosts me for a month and then breaks up with me over a text message. We briefly text about how can I get my belongings back as well as the $400 he owes me. I'm depressed and lacking a support group in Spain, coupled with the language barrier, and I decide to return to the US sooner than anticipated. And I actually end up moving to Chicago anyways because I was over DC and got a nice job offer in Chicago. Boyfriend returns my sentimental items on his own accord, but doesn't return my electronics other than my game console. I tried to contact him, but he blocked my number, Instagram, WhatsApp, Venmo, and Splitwise. I tried approaching him in person the couple of times I bumped into him and asked him if we could discuss my electronics and the money he owes me. And he completely blows me off and is extremely rude. Obviously, I conclude that he has no intention to return my electronics or pay me back the money he owes me, and I'm angry. I try to be patient and diplomatic and attempt to talk to him a few more times whenever I bumped into him, but he was acting the same. I finally write him an email saying, "Don't worry about the money you owe me, just please return my things," and gave my roommate his phone number so they could coordinate. He finally responds to my roommate and says that he'll send someone over the weekend to return my things. Yay! When the person dropped off my things, they only brought the games and speaker. Boyfriend kept my hue lights. I ran into him once more and asked him when I could get my hue lights back. He shrugs. I asked him if he planned on returning them. He shrugs again. I ask him point blank if he was stealing them from me and he says, "I guess you could call it that." I finally gave up and decided to order new hue lights and cut my losses. The revenge. When I was setting up my new hue lights, I noticed that I was still connected to my prior pair that my boyfriend had stolen, and that some of them were even on. I think it's a glitch or something and turn them off and don't think anything about it. But then they came back on. I was confused and curious, so I turned them off again. A few seconds later, they came back on. I suddenly realized that I was still connected and had just shut off boyfriend's lights twice. I beam with excitement. I don't turn them off again because I don't want him to figure out what's going on. Boyfriend doesn't work until about noon and likes to sleep in until 11 a.m. He's also very sensitive to light when he sleeps, so much so that he has blackout curtains so he can sleep in that long. I personally wake up at 7 to go to work, so for the last couple of weeks, I've made a habit of turning boyfriend's lights on at the same time that I wake up, and watching them go off a few minutes later, giving me the sweet, sweet satisfaction that I'm disturbing his sleep in the morning. I don't think I've ever been so happy to wake up in the morning. I do this for a couple of weeks until he reaches out to my roommate and finally returns my lights last night. I suppose he thought they were defective or something. Obviously, I didn't post while I was enacting my petty revenge, as I didn't want my fun to be cut short, but now that my lights have been returned, I'm posting, for just a tad bit more petty revenge. I hope he finds this post. It would be the icing on the cake. I want him to know it was me. Mugging the muggers. First time posting, sorry if I get it wrong. This is not my story, but a story my friend told me. Sorry, this is a long one, but there's a lot to this story. First, a little bit of context. My friend, let's call him D, worked for many years as a pizza chain delivery driver. He didn't need to, he has his own business, but he did it for pocket money, and to appease his in-laws who considered him a deadbeat if he didn't have a time clock punching job. My friend is also a firm believer in the Second Amendment and is known for legally carrying firearms wherever he goes, even to this day. D is my friend, M is the mugger, MIL is mother-in-law. Believe it or not, she is ex-law enforcement and has a place in this story. At the time of this series of incidents, D worked at a store that was in our version of inner city. Not many tips, lots of bad directions, no-shows, and customers trying to do anything to get a free meal. This is where our story starts. So D was working the evening rush shifts when they get a call-in order at an apartment complex that's particularly known for stiffing the drivers. When the pizza was ready for delivery, it was his turn to make the run. He knew he would be stiffed, but it was really close to the store, so he took the pizza and drove to the complex to make the delivery. Now, the drivers are not supposed to be armed, but there had been a rash of muggings and burglaries in the area, and the drivers that had guns had started keeping them in their vehicles for safety. So he gets to the complex, leaves his gun on the dashboard, locks his truck, and proceeds up the stairs to the pizza's destination. As he goes up the stairs, he notices a youngish Hispanic guy outside the apartment opposite his, smoking a cigarette. He says hi as he walks up to the door of his order, then turns and rings the doorbell. Nothing. He knocks on the door. Still nothing. He knocks again, calling out, "Pizza delivery!" No response. He double-checks the tag, and it's the correct address, but nobody's home. Great. Another no-show. He shrugs, turns around, and starts to head back down the stairs. "What's the matter? They know there? That sucks, man." "Yeah, it happens. Well, you have a good one." He starts walking down the stairs and heads towards his truck. He gets down almost to the bottom of the stairs when, "Hey man, what's gonna happen to the pizza?" "It'll get eaten at the store or someone will take it home." He continues walking and he faintly hears M coming down the stairs. "How much is it, man? Maybe I could pay it for you." By this time, D is at his truck and has it unlocked. He has a pretty good idea of what is happening, but he's playing ignorant. He turns back to face M. $22.65 if you want to buy it, I'll sell it to you. "Oh, I ain't got that much with me." "I understand, dude. Have a good one." He gets in his truck, puts the pizza on the seat, and grabs the gun to move it to the seat beside him. His window is rolled partially down to let in fresh air. He's not surprised 30 seconds later when there was a tapping on his open window. Sure enough, M is at his truck tapping on the rolled down window with a big-ass knife and a big shit-eating grin on his face. "I think you should just let me have that pizza and I'll take your wallet too, man." D already had his gun in his hand, so he pulls it around and points it at M. "I don't think so, man. Think you can manage to stab me before I pull the trigger? Back away from my window, dude." M goes pale and his jaw drops. He puts his hands up. "I was just fucking joking, man. Take it easy." D gets back out of his truck, still pointing the gun at M. M looks terrified. "What you gonna do, man?" "I'm going to mug the mugger." Big smile. "Toss the knife into the back of my truck, dude. Right now. Come on." "This is my best knife, man." "And now it's mine. I'll take your shoes and your belt too. Hurry it up. Toss them in the back of the truck too." M grumbles as he tosses the knife into the back of D's truck, then pulls off his belt and sits down on the bottom of the steps to take off his shoes. The whole time he's cussing in Spanish under his breath. He then tosses the belt and shoes into the back of D's truck. "Now what?" "Back up the stairs, dude." D's back opens up to the door of his truck. "You have a nice night now." He gets into his truck and drives away. When he gets home, he takes the knife out of his truck. It's a really nice knife, so he adds it to his knife collection. The belt and shoes were decent too. The shoes were actually steel-toed work boots, not D's size, so he gives them away to someone he thinks could use them. About a week and a half later, D is once again working the evening rush shift. An order comes in from the same complex. D knows that complex well and realizes this order goes to the same parking lot, just 2 buildings down from where the attempted mugging happened. So just to be safe, he tells the manager he will take it when it comes out. D is pretty sure M has learned his lesson, but he doesn't want to take chances with another driver. So when the pizza comes out, he packs it up and drives out to the complex. Tonight, the parking lot is pretty full and he can't pull up in front of the building, so he parks his truck and grabs his gun and puts it in his hand. Then he grabs the insulated bag the pizza is in and puts it over the gun in his hand. The bag covers the gun perfectly, so no one will know he has the gun unless he puts the bag down. He walks to the apartment, ground floor this time, and rings the bell, then knocks on the door a couple of times. No one's there. He shakes his head and turns around to get back into his truck. There stands M, this time with a big baseball bat in his hands. Guess he didn't learn his lesson after all. "You ain't out your truck this time, man. What you gonna do now?" Big shit-eating grin. D yanks the bag off and points his gun at M. That's okay. I brought it with me this time. Now, why don't you turn around slowly, put your hands up, and walk calmly back to my truck? You remember what that looks like, right? Oh man. M puts his hands up, turns around, and walks to D's truck. You know the drill, dude. Toss it in the back. Man, I just got this. And now you're giving it to me. Toss it in. M tosses the bat into the back of the truck. Now, where's your wallet, dude? My dude didn't learn his lesson, I guess, so hopefully that's the last time he tries that. I'm really still confused about where the mother-in-law plays in this, so a very heavy to be continued on this one, I guess. Alright everybody, that's it for today's video. I hope that you liked it. As always, my socials will be on the screen somewhere, so if you want to get at me outside of YouTube, I love to hear from you, and my Discord link will be in the info box. If you liked today's video, don't forget to hit the thumbs up and subscribe and hit the notification bell so that you're notified every time I upload, which lately has been every day. And I will see you in my next video. Bye!